There's a very narrow, simple path that's so easy to deviate from, but that path leads to the success you're looking for, the kingdom. But all other paths may look like they could go in the right direction, end up in the right place, but they don't. And that's why we have to be careful of the lips dripping honey, and sounds good and it's sweet and it wants to take you in what direction you think you want to go. Has Elohim rejected his people? Let it not be. So for all replacement theologists, Romans 11:1 is in your Bible. Okay? Because all those replacement theologists say, well, the Jews blew it, and so he's rejected them. It's now on us, the Gentiles. Well, Paul's going to explain that that is absolutely not true right here in Romans chapter 11. Now remember, Paul knows the Tanakh, the Old Testament, better than anybody that I can think of. All right? He knows it certainly better than everybody he's talking to, certainly better than all the Gentiles that might be reading this. Okay, he knows the Tanakh, and he's trying to say, look, I know the prophecies about the restoration, that Israel and Judah will mess this up, but they'll be restored. I know Ezekiel 37, he's saying. I know what's going on with the two sticks. I know about the dry bones. I know about all these things that have been prophesied in Hosea and in other places. Yeah, I also know that it says that they're going to suffer until that time. And so he's trying to point that out and how that fits into the current events he was going through here in the book of Romans. Do not boast against the branches, and if you boast, remember, you do not bear the root, but the root bears you. In other words, we don't start reading the Old Testament through the New. The Old is the root. It starts in Genesis, not in Matthew or John or some other place, or Hebrews or Romans or Galatians or wherever you may have started in your church going. Israel is only in this temporary state of being heart-hardened. He's got to allow that, because if Israel jumps out there, is all in it again, they may have the same problem trying to say, this is ours, you can't have it. Because I'll tell you right now, Christianity and Judah agree on only one thing: the Torah is not for you. It's choice that matters, not bloodline. Doesn't matter your sex, your race, any of those things. It's choice. Because in the kingdom, there won't be any of that stuff. There'll only be choice. It won't matter what your physical body was like, you won't have one. None of those other things will matter. What will matter is choice. Are you going to choose to be a member of the kingdom? In other words, a citizen of the kingdom in complete submission to the authority of the king of the kingdom? Choices. It's all about choices. What is the problem with this whole Baal thing? They were taking stuff of the Gentiles, stuff in the way they worship their Baals, their masters, their gods, okay? And what did they do? They claimed it to be the way to worship the Elohim. Is that not what you see all through Christianity? Isn't that how we ended up with Christmas? Ended up with Easter? I drove home last night past a huge, I'm thinking it's a Baptist church, okay? With a giant sign outside telling everybody to come for the Easter egg hunt. Woo! Because that has a whole lot to do with what? This is the branches thing that you read about in Jeremiah 11. We read about it in Romans 11. Oh, look, Romans 11, Jeremiah 11. There's a reason it's connected. Okay. But in John 15, let's understand what's going on here. Every branch in me, that is somebody whose current status is covenanted. But covenant is not a permanent status, just like it wasn't in Jeremiah 11 or in Romans 11. Stay in me and I stay in you. Did you notice that he didn't say, I stay in you, then you stay in me? He said, no, you stay in me and I stay in you. You walk away, then you're walking away from me. I'm not following you. You stay with me. If you and him are separated, it's because one of you moved and it's not him. He's not following you. You're following him. Stay in me. Oh no, love doesn't have anything to do with works. Really? He wants you to do his stuff. And when you do his stuff, you demonstrate your love. Because he gave you the stuff to do because of his love. Because giving you the instructions takes all of the guessing and the error out of our trying to please him and to please each other. He tells us the right way to do it. Takes all the frustration away, all the confusion, and all the wrong stepping, if we would just do it his way. Now remember, this is all about what? Covenant. They are covenanted with him, and as covenanted people, you are not of the world, but you're still in the world. And so if you're hated, you understand why. Remember, he's talking about, when he starts with every branch in me, he's talking about those that are covenanted. That's the translation I'm going to put there. You don't have to agree with me. So everything in John 15 is his prayer for those that are covenanted.